All right, there we go.
Hey, folks, welcome to the Generational Gap. I, as usual, am Robert, your resident Gen Xer, and right over there is our resident millennial. I think is John. Is that you,
Something
John?
like that.
Oh
I
no,
think
I
it might
see
be
the
me.
beard. I saw the beard poking down below, so it has to be you.
It most certainly
I
is.
have to say, I don't think I've ever seen you look so good.
Yeah. No, I figured, today is not the day for my face to be on the internet. I will, however, do a face reveal if we get 3 likes. If we get 3 likes on this video, I will do a face reveal.
3 whole likes.
3 likes. That's all it's going
That
to take.
that's all you're looking for is 3 likes.
Just 3 likes.
Um,
That's it.
the sad thing is you'd think you'd want to be showing your face, since this might be one of the last two shows where that beard is going to be seen.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think our audience has the balls to donate $1,000 to St.
I think
Jude's
they do.
Children's Hospital.
I think they do. Tell me more about that, John. Tell them. Tell them what they got to do.
Yeah. So we're gonna be doing a charity stream on Friday, April 19th. Yes, that is the correct day. Yeah, April 19th.
How's that
From
memory
noon
working, John?
from noon to midnight. Uh, that'll be Eastern Standard Time, of course, for those of you who aren't in the correct time zone.
Right.
And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We got some guests lined up. We got some activities lined
Any
up for you guys.
any guests you want to name drop?
Um, well, we're gonna have our own Stephen Ignoramus and Jay Edgar on in order to do a gun debate with Robert, who's going to lose.
Absolutely. I come prepared to lose.
And let's see. We have some other people in the works. Got confirmation from Scott W., who, as you guys would know, is that senior chief in the Navy that we talked to a few episodes back. So he'll be on. I believe Stan will be on as well. I don't think I've talked to him though about it. And I've got some other people in the works as
That's
well.
fine.
Some kind of high profile
Hold it a little
people.
back. Hold it a little back. It's good.
Yeah.
It's always good to hold it a little back. I still say we ought to try. One of these days, we got to get Midget in there. Maybe he'll drop in during the show. That would be fun.
Maybe. But yeah, screw this though. Face reveal. Now you can see. I can't do this not seeing shit anymore.
Oh, poor puppy. Hey,
Yeah.
so we got a show tonight, John, and we got a few
Oh,
things
all
to
right.
talk about. We're going to talk about some meaningless crap to begin with. Just well, not meaningless, but just some silly shit that well, you know how it is, John. I find silly shit out there, and then I got to talk about it sometimes, right? That's all part of my
Sure, sure,
that's my
sure.
thing. I just react to things because I think things are funny. But there are some real topics to talk about tonight. We are going to talk a little bit about measles and the anti-vax situation going on in New York. That has heated up a little bit, John, and I think we're going to see some. I don't know. I don't know whether to call it government overreach or if that can happen from a state level. I think it can, but
Yeah,
um, but
absolutely.
we've also got. We're going to talk a little bit about Julian Assange. Is it Assange or is it
It's
Assange?
Assange.
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 So he was I guess I guess technically evicted from the
From Ecuador.
Ecuador embassy in London, and now he's been placed under arrest.
Yep.
And so there's going to be fallout from that. And everybody's scrambling to get their hands on him. Really, it's like who gets to extradite him, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Where's he
Uh,
going?
but we're going to talk about that, and then the other thing we're going to talk about is what's this guy's name, John? He's kind of big on YouTube.
Um.
Something cake? No.
Hmm.
Croissant? No. Do you know who I'm
Is
talking
it?
about? He like has a lot. I think he's
Hmm.
got a lot of followers on YouTube.
Hmm. We talking about? Oh shit! It's PewdiePie. That's who we're talking about.
PewDiePie. That's right.
PewdiePie.
There's been a lot going on with PewDiePie this week, right?
Yeah.
He's
Our boy
he's
PewdiePie.
looking at making a change in his live streaming, and now India's crawled up his ass.
Yeah.
They're not happy, but we'll get to that. Find out just how much technical support he's going to lose. Um, but anyway, so John, anything exciting happening for you this week? Anything happened
I'm just
in?
spending as much time with my beard as I can before something may or may not happen to it.
You're not afraid that you're going to lose it, are you?
No, I don't believe in our audience. I don't think they can do it.
Wow, that's kind of hardcore. That's
Yeah,
harsh. That's
yeah,
harsh.
that's why I was willing to
I
put it on the line in the first place. Because I bet you I'm going to keep this beard
I
after next Friday.
I like to believe
You're
that
like,
we have the kind of audience that give a shit enough about kids, if nothing else. Even if they don't love the show. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man.
It's kids.
Just
It's
telling you, if
kids.
the ability to gain likes is any indication of how much our audience cares, it seems like we're not going to make anything. Just saying.
John, John, we need you to have a positive attitude, pal.
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking, it's going to be Good Friday. I mean, just the name in and of itself prompts people to do good and eat fish.
it's true. It does.
You imagine how busy Red Lobsters are on Friday nights right now?
Oh yeah. Wasn't it just a day that you're not supposed to eat meat?
Well, when I was growing up, you didn't eat meat on Friday through the entire course of Lent.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Every
Just
Friday
don't.
was no meat.
Just on Friday, yeah.
Right.
So yeah,
Um,
that way you're not actually sacrificing anything real. You just kind of act
well,
like you are.
now you think about this though, from the standpoint of back in the good old days, as we would say, Friday night you ate steak dinner. After a long week of work, you came home and it was steak. That's when you had your steak. It was either then or Saturday, right? Now, granted, this was put in place long, long ago, but yeah, it affected people. They were like, "Got to change up what night I eat steak." And then they would
Yeah,
just do it
we
permanently.
always just had cheese pizza in
Right.
my house growing up. That's all. Yeah,
Ooh,
it was just cheese pizza.
hardcore, right?
Yeah, no
Um,
pepperoni. Oh no.
but I could never understand. I always wondered why it was that if you ate meat on Friday, you were going to burn in hell. Like it was horrible to eat meat on a Friday
Yeah, during Lent at least.
during Lent. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
really?
Well, the
This is
good Lord
just.
above sacrificed his life on the cross for you, and you can't sacrifice one day of meat.
I mean, does that not
Fucking
sound
piece of
like some
shit.
of the most arbitrary bureaucracy you've ever fucking heard? I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
honestly, I mean, here I am, the person that believes that book and those books were written all the thousands of years ago to control the population.
Oh
It's
yeah.
exactly what they're. And then you see something like that, and you're like, oh man, they were just getting fucking hardcore. It's
Yeah.
like the fucking butchers want a day off or something. I don't know.
Yeah, midget B's laughing at me in the chat. Cheese pizza for Lent. That's right. Real Catholics over here, man. Praise Jesus. Eat your pizza. That's right. Eat your pizza for Jesus. That's what Jesus wants.
Jesus
Jesus
likes
wants you
pizza.
to eat your
Jesus
pizza.
likes pizza.
He does.
One of the worst.
Yeah, he was Italian, or I guess he was in Italy. He wasn't really Italian.
One of the worst experiences I had in church had to do with like Easter, Palm Sunday,
Hmm.
because that day my grandfather had cooked these ribs, and they were just fucking super fatty, John. I'm just talking like super fatty ribs. Like, and you're eating them, and they're just you can just
Hmm.
taste yourself filling up with the grease of it all.
Hell yeah.
And then we went. They decided they were going to go to Palm Sunday service on Palm Sunday that night, and
Oh god.
yeah, all that fatty ribs didn't sit well. I wound up puking outside the church, and I got in trouble. I got in trouble for getting sick to my stomach off the
See, I
ribs.
thought I thought it was gonna be much worse.
Oh
I
no,
thought you like laid a shit in church or something.
I can still taste it in my mouth to this day. That specific taste that night, because I got in so much trouble. She beat the fuck out of me for the rest of the week. She beat the shit out of me for getting
Nice.
sick in front of the church on Palm
That's
Sunday.
right. Well, you soiled Holy Land. The fuck is
Yeah.
wrong with you?
But
When was Jesus ever in Italy? Well, he was in Rome, right? So Rome is in Italy.
well, the Vatican's in Rome. Was he in Rome?
Well, yeah, wasn't he in Rome?
Well, where? No, he
Yeah.
was born in Bethlehem. He traveled all
Well,
throughout
yeah.
the
Well, he was
Middle
killed
East.
outside of Rome, or
He
wasn't he?
was
Or
all.
at least in Roman
I think they marched him.
territory.
I think they marched him into Rome. Isn't it?
Wasn't
Isn't
he?
that where he was
I'm,
crucified?
I'm pretty
Outside
sure outside
something
of.
outside of Rome. Because I thought they marched him through the streets of Rome because that was the heart of the Catholic Church. Fuck, I don't remember, John.
Maybe.
Why do you
No,
make me
what the
want to
hell? He
remember
was never in Rome. No, that's bullshit. I know he was. Now I have to look it up.
They didn't where so yeah, I don't know. Didn't
Well, okay, maybe he was just he
who
was in the Roman
who
Empire, but let me see.
yeah, because wasn't it the Roman Empire the Romans that were after him, the Roman Empire? Who was the Caesar then?
Hang on, let me see. I'm gonna read this thing. Blah 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 blah. Across Judea. Da, 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 da.
Wow. You're
Oh,
reading
so it was
stuff.
Roman Empire. Um. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, the Roman Empire killed him.
Yeah, I know the Roman Empire killed him. I'm trying to
But
figure out whether or not
they
he went to
didn't.
Rome.
That's what I'm wondering if they ever didn't they. Because where did he carry
Jesus.
the cross? He had to carry his own cross, but it wasn't. What city was that outside of? He was crucified and laid to rest in Israel, Roman territory. Never made any trips outside. Oh, it was Roman territory.
Oh,
That's why.
okay, yeah.
Okay,
That's
but
what I was thinking too. It was in the Roman
right.
Empire.
But
Yeah, so maybe I'm
I guess
stupid.
I guess it was. I'm trying to remember. There was at one point he was still brought before the
Well,
leader
yeah,
of the
but it would
Roman
have been
Empire, wasn't he, or was he?
no, not Pontius Pilate.
No, but
He would have
I
been
couldn't
just like
remember if it. Oh, I thought he was brought before
some
Pontius
kind of
Pilate, but
governor or
not in
something.
Rome. I guess it wasn't in Rome that he would have been brought before him, but
Yeah. So
yeah,
shut up, Midget B. We don't need your corrections. Just let us be wrong.
yeah.
It's fine. God. No, I swore that there was a. I don't know.
Gods
Maybe
don't
I'm thinking of somebody
gods
else.
don't kill people. Humans kill people.
Well, it was the governor. That's what I said. Jesus. God.
He was the governor.
He was the
Fuck.
governor fuck. The governor of fuck, or he
He
was
was
just
the
the governor
governor's
fuck?
fuck, or
Oh, okay,
he
gotcha.
was the governor of fuck. So like when he was back in Rome, that he spent most of his time on his knees.
Right. Naturally, naturally, naturally.
Right, right in front of Caesar. Hey,
Yeah.
so John,
So as you can see, I'm a great Catholic because I don't remember the story of Jesus. So
yeah.
already pretty good at it.
No, see, and that's again, this is beautiful stuff when you realize that you're forgetting all of that brainwashing, because it's really what it is, right?
Well, yeah, indoctrination
Yeah,
for
sure, we'll
sure.
call it that. That's a lovely word for it.
Yeah.
All right, so John, I saw something in the news, and it was this back and forth. I'm going to read a conversation to you, and I want you to see if you find it as enjoyable as I do. So, John Kerry, John
That's
Kerry
right. Apostates.
was in front of a House committee hearing on Tuesday. The need for leadership to combat climate change and protect national security. And Thomas Massey, he's a Republican out of Kentucky, tried to slam Kerry in talking to him. So I'm going to read this
Hmm.
exchange to you, and you tell me what you think. All right, so it starts with Massey. He says, Secretary Kerry, I want to read part of your statement back to you. It says, instead of convening a kangaroo court, the president might want to talk about with the educated adults he once trusted his top national security positions to. It sounds like you're questioning the credentials of the president's advisors, Massey said, but I think we should question your credentials today. Isn't it true you have a science degree from Yale? Kerry says, Bachelor of Arts degree. Is it a political science degree? Kerry says, yes, it's political science. He says, so how do you get a Bachelor of Arts in a science? Okay. Well, it's a liberal arts education and degree. It's a bachelor, and he cuts him off. He says, okay, so it's not really science. So I think it's somewhat appropriate that someone with a pseudoscience degree is here pushing pseudoscience in front of our committee today. Kerry says, are you serious? He says, I mean, this is really a serious happening here. This is happening right now. And I watched it, and that's how he was. He's like, Are you serious? You're serious right now, right? So Massey says, you know what? It is serious. You're calling the president's cabinet a kangaroo court. Is that serious? Kerry says, I'm not calling his cabinet a kangaroo court. I'm calling his committee that he's putting together a kangaroo committee. Massey says, are you saying it doesn't have educated adults now? I don't know who it has yet because it's secret. Massey says, well, you said it in your testimony. Kerry says, why would we have to have a secret analysis of climate change? Massey says, let's get back to the science of it. Kerry says, but it's not science. You're not quoting science. And then Massey says, well, you're the science expert. You have the political science degree. And that was the exchange. Just like, these are our politicians. These are the people. These are the people representing us.
Bunch of fucking hacks. Yeah.
This is what they have to spend all that time just to try and fuck with him about a political science degree, which he probably has himself. I mean, most politicians typically have some political science, right? I mean, he knows, right? What kind
a lot of them started out as lawyers too.
This is what our taxpayer dollars, our representatives spend their time doing in Washington.
Yeah. Which, speaking of that, speaking of wasting money on useless hearings and whatnot, I want to give a shout out to our girl Candace Owens. Did a fucking great job testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee about the rise of white nationalists and whatever the fuck else it was. Some bullshit. But she did a great job. It was really awesome. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Do we have a rise of white nationalists going on?
Apparently. If you believe the left, then yeah, it's rampant. It's an epidemic.
What does she have to say on the topic?
She had, obviously she's more plugged in to like the culture war and all of that than anyone else. So she was just calling out their lies back and forth. It was hilarious.
Gotcha.
Especially when the one, I forget what his name was, played some like 30-second clip completely out of context of her like supposedly defending Hitler, and then she just ripped him a new one for that, saying, you didn't include the question that I was asked, you didn't include the context of it, here's what it is, here's what it, I was saying. Like, as she's calling him out for just being completely disingenuous, he just kind of goes like, he's like, what am I supposed to say to that? You got me. Yeah, Ted Lieu, that's who it was.
I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Speaking of women being plugged in,
Ooh,
I wanted to mention something.
Or like plugged up, am I right?
Right. Hey, so a young lady that goes to, and make sure I get the name of the college right since it's not here in the United States of awesome. The University of the West of England. I love how they University of the West of England. University of the West of England. It's a little too wordy, right? But anyway, so she goes out. Now, this girl had a plan, right? She went out and spent a large portion, if not all of her most recent student loan check that she got.
Mm-hmm.
And she spent the entire thing on tampons.
Nice.
And she made all of these different boxes, handmade boxes, folded them up, and put tampons in them. So she could give them out to all the women on campus. Because apparently there's something going on there, and I've heard talk about it here, called period poverty. Where the cost of feminine products is getting to the point women can't afford it. Now, so much to the point there that a recent study showed that a new poll revealed that approximately a quarter of the women living there, I guess in England, miss work or school because they cannot afford their menstrual products.
Yeah, that would be my excuse too.
And found that 51% of the respondents suffered from the problem or knew someone who had, while more than 2/3 had been forced to use makeshift menstrual protection at some points. Now,
Um,
here's the thing. The the research there also shows that the average woman there spends 4,800 pounds on sanitary products in a lifetime.
that's it.
Right? So, if you start at say age 12, we'll just get a mean age of 12 years old, and we'll go ahead and stretch it. We'll cut it at 45, right? Which typically it's around 50, and we'll even round
Hmm.
it up to 5,000, right? But I mean, 13 to 40, 45 is what, 32 years? 32
Hmm.
years to stretch even 5,000 pounds across. And here in America, that's going to translate to what, 7,500. But still, over the
Mm,
course of a
I don't know.
over the course of a lifetime, well, they were about a times and a half on us, but I don't know, 7,000. But still, over the course of your entire lifetime, does is it? I think there is that.
I think it's just they don't want to pay for it. That's
Is
all
that
it is.
is
They
that
rather-
expensive? I mean, I could sit here and get onto the calculator and break that down, but that doesn't seem. I mean, my wife, she'll go and she'll buy a box of tampons, she'll buy a box of pads, she puts those
Yeah,
in, and she's usually going to have those for a couple of months, if not three.
yeah, they're not that expensive. I've bought them
Well,
before. I mean,
it's at the moment they're expensive, I guess. So like if you're living paycheck to paycheck and then you're like, "Oh, I need to go get tampons. How much money do I have in the bank account?" I can kind of understand it to a certain extent. But
okay, so
the
yeah, I
whole
mean,
point to
no, I mean, you don't, or you get rid of your Hulu subscription for a month, or I don't know, you don't fill your gas tank all the way to full. You put it at halfway. There's so many things you can do to, kind of cut a little
sure.
bit
So
to get that extra bit.
the whole point to her doing this is to try and get the school to supply sanitary napkins for all their
Yeah, naturally.
female students.
Wait, sanitary napkins?
Sanitary, yeah.
Like those, like
Tan-
wet naps, or like what?
no,
Or
sanitary napkins are another name for a pad.
oh, that's stupid.
They
All right.
call them sanitary napkins.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's very misleading. No, I
That's
was thinking
just
like wet naps,
wet
which are
naps.
very nice, by the way.
Yeah, well, those are just called wet naps. But anyway, but I don't love the idea of this movement, this idea getting going. Because I mean, when you start, I mean, come on, a school needs to supply you with sanitary products,
Well, yeah, it's a human right, Robert.
and that's where it's going to
Don't
be a
you know?
problem. Whenever if
It's a
somebody
human
starts
right. And
hollering
if you
that
don't,
there's
if you don't believe that it's a human right, you're a fucking racist. You need to get off this show. I don't accept racists on my show. You need to get off.
well, I don't have I didn't my college didn't have ball scratchers.
Yeah. In fact, you can get a lot of trouble for scratching your balls, especially nowadays. If you're anywhere in public, you can get into a lot of trouble
Really?
just for scratching your balls. Yeah, I'm sure someone will misconstrue it, think you're, jerking it to them because there's everything's about them. So
Hey, I got one more little thing to react to because this pissed me off, and it's going to continue to piss me off for many reasons. Um, Congress is probably going to ban the government from letting you
sweet. Oh,
file
you
your
should
taxes for free.
you should just ended that sentence there. They're just gonna ban the government.
But they're going to ban the government from letting you file your taxes for free through them
Yeah,
because of
isn't
pressure
that interesting?
from because of pressure from companies like TurboTax.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Yeah,
fucked up?
I don't think that should be
How?
possible. I mean,
And
I don't know how that's
but it's
possible.
happening. It's happening, John. It's going to prevent it's basically going to the government, has you can go to the irs.gov and you can file your taxes right there. You can find the forms, this, that, and the other, and fill it
Mm-hmm.
all out. But Now it's just you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to have to use a tax service and pay for their because as soon as they can get the government to stop offering free filing, then they no longer have to offer free filing
Yeah,
and they just get 100% buyers. Because where else are you going to file your fucking taxes? That
right.
is
You either
insane
go to
to
like
me.
H&R Block, or you'd have to go to TurboTax. It's really your only options, unless you have enough money for an accountant.
Well,
Then
yeah,
you can
but
do that.
all
But
of it costs you money.
oh yeah,
If the government is going to take taxes from me, by God, they shouldn't. I shouldn't have to be charged to do that. And this is where capitalism, this is where free enterprise is is causing just I don't know. Is it government overreach or reverse
it's
government overreach? Is it what is it? I mean, it's too
yeah,
much fucking finger in the
it's not
pot
free
here.
market. It's not free market because it's something that is limiting. It's the free market. It's not even the free market. It's crony capitalism,
Hmm.
limiting what the government can do, deciding what the government can and can't do.
And it will stop.
Cronyism is not free the free market, by the way. I want to
And
make
this
that
is
clear.
and this is going to stop. This is even going to stop the IRS from having their own online paid online tax service. It's going to stop our own IRS from being able to create have anything to file taxes. And
Well,
that
we should
is
just get rid of the IRS to begin with.
that's fucked up. Well, now see, now remember I've told you this before. Three branches, three parts of government that as soon as that are going to be corporatized, and it's always been education, military, and taxes. This is a step towards the tax companies
Hmm.
getting their hands on the tax system, getting their hands on the IRS's job, taking it away from them. This is that trick, that one step forward in doing exactly what they want to do, because I can promise you, if they could run it, if they could handle it all, and just give the government their share of the money and keep a cut, they would be doing it in a fucking heartbeat. No need for the IRS. And then they'll take over following up on bad debts or non-paid
Yeah.
taxes, this, that, or the other. And once that shit's privatized and they're all fucking bounty hunters instead of just, the tax man rolling around,
Hmm.
shit could get real. But tell me it's not a step. Tell me it's not a step.
No, I mean it looks like it is, and it's obviously something that needs to be stopped before it can happen.
But it's our own government cutting its own balls off. I mean, it's Congress telling
Not really,
themselves
because
we.
they're just like, oh well, we can afford to pay a service fee to have our taxes done, so it's fine. Let's just do it. I don't care about people who can't do that.
and
They
and
ban people from the system. Jesus. Well, that's fine. I'll be banned from paying my taxes. That's fine.
and the
Ban
IRS
me.
was actually developing a pretty good online portal for paying your taxes. Like they
Yeah.
to the extent that, and somebody had suggested this in the Discord channel where this was posted about the government being able should the IRS should tell you what's expected of you. Like they should already have the numbers factored in with adjustments coming in from your side. They can absorb that, and then, but an initial estimate of what they're expecting. Either they owe you
Jesus.
or you owe them,
The amount of
coming to you.
bureaucracy that would take, though.
No, it's just because all that taxpayer ID that's already in their system. Now it's when you go to fill your taxes out, you can put that in and get all the information about your company. You can get your W-2 because everything's online on clouds now.
Hmm.
So the IRS has access to all that information. They could be doing a bang up job of making taxes so fucking easy through their
Ha.
own
Yeah. Right.
service, and now it's getting shut down. And
Oh
and
man.
we would and here's the thing that kills me. Only about 3% of the tax-paying population takes advantage of filing free taxes because most of them get conned into upgrading into something else in the tax uh,
Well, yeah, because you have these companies who
programs.
say like, we'll give you the most refund possible and shit like that,
Usually
which
the
is
state is the one that prompts them to wind up having to pay for one of these
mm,
things, and then it goes on from there. But yeah, only 3% of the population, the taxpayers, actually get by with filing free taxes.
yeah, yeah. I guess I forget that other people have to pay state income taxes because we're in Florida. We don't have to do that. It's nice.
See, if I'm if I'm going to be forced to pay for it, I would rather pay the IRS for it. Now, no matter how that sounds, at least the IRS would be getting paid from the filing fees,
You're gonna
and
pay them
then
to take your money.
right, and then tax money that normally funds the IRS wouldn't have to be spent on the IRS. It could go to something
What a
else.
stupid idea.
No,
Well,
no,
here,
I'm saying
IRS, here's money so you can take my money.
no, I know, but what I'm saying is, if I'm going to be, you're about to be forced into the situation. Who would you rather pay it to? Would you rather pay it directly to the people who are going to get paid with your tax money, or do you want to pay it to people who are just capitalizing on the fact that they can bully Washington into getting this law in place?
I'd rather do what Midget B suggests there and get banned from the system. Ban me from paying taxes.
That'll be the one system you won't be banned from.
I don't know. We'll
Did you
find
know
out.
that? You can't get it. Just type nothing but racial slurs into your entire tax form with how much you owe as the only numbers on it, and send it in. They're not going to bitch. They're just going to be like, oh, okay, where's your check?
Yeah,
They're not going to give a fuck. They're not banning shit.
not yet. We'll see. I want to get banned from taxes. That'll be
Well,
awesome.
actually,
Let's do that.
since it's going to be private companies, yeah, you could get. What if you got banned from every tax service?
Right.
You'd have to
It's like,
contact,
well, I want to pay my taxes, but I can't.
right? Nobody will
What
let me pay my
do?
taxes. What do I do?
Yeah, what do? Indeed.
But anyway, on to lighter topics.
Lighter topics.
Right. So about these parents that are trying to kill their kids in New
Yes. Yeah. Little shits.
York. John, there's people in New York actually having what they're calling measles parties, right? That
Yeah.
they're trying to get their kids infected with the measles virus like the vaccine does, so that the kids will be immune to it later in life.
Right. Now, to be fair to these parents, the only time I'm ever going to defend them is because my mom did the same thing with chickenpox. Where when my friend had chickenpox, I went and like had a sleepover at his house. I was probably like 6 or 7,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to stay over there, and I got chickenpox, and I was like, "Why?
Well,
What is this?" And it itched like crazy.
but you were vaccinated for other things.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. That was common with chickenpox. That's
yeah.
not
That's
unusual,
what
right?
I'm saying. That's the only
It's-
thing I was going to defend them was that they're doing the same thing, but measles is way more deadly,
right. And it's way
so
more deadly
they
to
can
a
get
lot
fucked.
more than just their kids. Right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, and this is starting to. So in 2017 and 2018, the numbers of measles cases in New York were in the double digits, very low double digits. I think it was under 20 in 2017, and in the low 20s somewhere around that in 2018. Already over 200, almost 240 cases this year alone in New York. With a mass population, they're starting to have measles outbreaks because these fucking anti-vaxxers are not wanting to have their kids. Now, what New York's response is? New York's response is they're going to start fining people. If they
Mm.
basically, you have to be able to prove that you've had the measles vaccination, and they're gonna fine you. I think it's like $1,000, and you're going to get in trouble for not having been vaccinated. I mean, and they're making vaccinations mandatory. So the question becomes: is that infringing? Is that okay for a state to put that into
So
effect?
so let me ask then: is it the state itself, or is it? Because I remember when I was in, I think, elementary school,
Well, it's New
you had
York
to
City.
prove. Right, but I'm saying you had to prove that you were vaccinated in order to go to school. And so I'm wondering if it's something like that, because that would not be infringing on anything. But otherwise, yes, it would. If it's just like if you exist, you have to have vaccines. Then yeah, that would be government overreach for sure.
Okay, so in New York City, the health commissioner has put a standing order in place for that covers 4 zip codes in New York City, and it's in the Williamsburg neighborhood of Brooklyn. Now this is where and this says more than since September more than 250 people have contracted measles in these 4 zip codes since September. That's a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it says that anyone that's living in those zip codes are any unvaccinated people in those areas who may have been exposed to the virus, who may have been exposed. So if you breathe air, you're required to be vaccinated, including your children older than 6 months. Those who don't get the vaccine and are not immune to the virus will be fined can be fined up to $1,000.
Well, are they going to provide these vaccinations for free, or are they going to make you pay for them? Right. So, I mean, I don't like the idea that the government says you must buy a product. The same
So,
thing with like health insurance, like with Obamacare.
but
It's like you must buy this product.
well, see, they're calling
I
this
don't like that.
they're calling it a public health emergency. So,
Mm.
is that not? I mean, when we have a situation like that, so in the event of this, an outbreak of a disease, when a public health emergency is put in place, whether it's on a city, state, or federal level, that's basically martial law type level stuff, right? There is no well, and I'm just using that term, but I'm just saying
Using it
there
loosely, very
that
loosely.
that is, I mean, that is full rule. I mean, they can require this, right, to prevent danger to the rest of the population. I mean, do we not have I mean, is that not how that works? Ultimately, isn't that within their power? It's like
I mean,
as
obviously, it's within their power if they're doing it.
I mean, if we go in, just kind of like in wartime, if we declare war, all authority is then given to the president for the most part, right? It's a wartime situation. It's kind of, I mean, so does not the health commissioner there in New York have the right to lay down martial law about?
Are they declaring war on measles?
Well, I guess in a sense. I mean, people are throwing, but these parents are throwing these measles parties. It's like they're intentionally spreading the disease.
Yeah, and then they should be arrested for manslaughter when their
So,
kids die.
so, but I don't know. Is there a fine line? Um, so it's a public, like Tinchy says, it's a public health concern. If you do anything that can cause danger to public health, you can absolutely get a fine. Um, so if they can fine you, I don't know. I think they have the ability to say, yes, you have to go get it. Now, I don't know. You go to your doctor, so there would be a copay. You have to go to your doctor to do it, unless maybe they are going around and giving them for free. It doesn't say one way or the other, I don't think. Uh,
I think there are some places you can get like they'll charge you based on your income.
but
So like whatever percentage of the total price based on your income.
so they point out that it's nearly all measles cases in New York City are have been associated with the Orthodox Jewish community, um, and the majority of the religious leaders in those communities support vaccination efforts, even though the rates of vaccinations remains low amongst their followers, their what do you call it? Their parishioners. Oh, I don't even know, what do you call
I don't know what
Jewish
the
people?
Jewish term for
Yeah.
parishioner is.
But there's a small group of anti-vaxxers in these neighborhoods that fuel this ongoing non-vaccination of the kids. So the city also ordered that any of these religious schools and daycare programs serving the communities there, if you do not exclude unvaccinated children from your care, we are reserving the right to come and shut you down.
Mm.
So
Mm.
in New York City alone, 285 cases have been confirmed since December. 246 were children.
Yeah.
246, and 21 of those have people of the 285 have been hospitalized, with 5 going into intensive care because measles fucking kills people. Just so
Yeah.
you'll know.
Yeah.
So uh, The mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio, was asked if the order to vaccinate people was legal. And he said yes. His office is absolutely certain we have the power to do this. Uh, so he's pretty confident that they can do what the fuck they want about this. It's a city of what, 11 million people, 15 million, something. There's
It's a lot of
a
people.
lot of fucking people in one small area, and
Yeah.
if it goes crazy from just inside this neighborhood, like if it breaks out of that and really gets going, because it wouldn't surprise me if there's a lot more people in that city alone that have not been vaccinated. Not to mention the level of elderly people, older people that are there, and of course the vaccination doesn't it begin to peter out as you get older? Like your immune system has starts failing as you get older. So
Hmm.
measles is a big scare in the elderly community as well. Um,
Robert did say 9 to 11 million people.
yes, I did, and I'm not going to act like that was intentional at all.
It wasn't.
I don't know why. I always, those are the two numbers I always think about whenever I'm trying to think about the population, because I've seen the population a couple of times in the Blitzkrieg. No, there's Seawall.
Yeah,
Seawall's
we know
unclear.
Seawall's here.
Yeah, I don't know how to make
trying to
the swastika with my
trying to
fingers.
invade Poland over here. The hell's wrong with you, Seawall? Leave the Polish alone. Leave them alone, Seawall.
Has he
They
been
didn't do anything to
vaccinated?
you.
Has he been vaccinated?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know, John. I don't want to see measles starting to get on the spread. I don't want to deal with this. Would I don't have a problem with making something like that mandatory. I mean, it's almost like saying, it's just the Black Plague. It's just typhoid.
Yeah,
It's just
it's just the
polio.
plague.
It's polio. It's nothing major. He's helping
He's
Poland
helping
invade
Poland
Germany.
invade Germany. That's funny.
Does that mean he's like in a threesome right now?
With who?
With his
Who would the other one be?
Polish buddy and his
Oh, does he have a
some
Polish
German
buddy?
chick they picked up?
Oh God. They call it? It's like a sex move. They call it the reverse blitzkrieg.
Right. Wait till you see the pincher move.
Yo, that's gross.
H O
That's Hearts of Iron 4.
Hearts of Iron 4.
Yeah, it took me a second to remember
Yeah.
what
I almost
HOI
had
was.
it. I almost had it. It was on the tip of your tongue.
It was. And then I said it.
I don't know, John. What's your thoughts on it from the standpoint of a federal level? I mean, is this the kind of thing that our federal government should stand in, get involved in with the CDC and our Surgeon General, and and override states' rights authority on this and say 100% vaccination is required unless medically necessary that you don't? Fuck religion.
Well, I mean, so what they can do is do the research at the CDC and give their findings and give suggestions
Well, they've done
of what
that.
the state should do. And the states need to, I guess they can. I mean, they obviously have the power to pass laws themselves to
Should the federal
force people
government
to
force them
vaccinate.
to? I mean, that's what it comes
I don't
down
think they
to,
need
though.
to.
Because,
Yeah, declare a state of emergency. Exactly. Just
but
give the federal government more power.
when it's all said and done, when it concerns the public health, I'm sorry, but I don't
No, I'm
think your
sorry. You can make an
religious.
excuse for anything.
Yeah, but
Uh,
you throw religion up there. Oh, I'm not vaccinating my kids for religious reasons. Um, no, no, sorry, that doesn't qualify for me. Not when we're talking
well,
about, whether it's in this state, that state, another state. It doesn't take long for a virus to become something worse, right? And it doesn't take long for shit like that to travel around. And yes, I know most of our population is vaccinated. So at this point in time, we're talking about something small, but we're also talking about a virus. And what do we know
right. Yeah,
viruses can
and
do?
Seawall has the same kind of deal that I'm talking about. It's fine with some vaccines being recommended but not required, and others being required for public school access. That's what I was talking about earlier before he showed up.
So then
So he knows I'm right.
I'll put the question out there. What how much? What is the level that it becomes? What point do we reach before it does become a public health concern that should be legislated, that should be dealt with, to where we make it mandatory to prevent people from dying? Because
Um, I mean, I don't think I have a good answer for that.
yeah,
'Cause I don't know what level it should be.
because it's like let me put it this way: if if an AIDS vaccine actually comes available, do we make it mandatory for the population to take it, to use it?
I mean, I don't think. I mean, why not? Like, I mean, like, why would you? Like, why would you do that? I mean, you can just avoid getting AIDS by not sharing needles with druggies and not having unprotected gay sex. It's pretty simple.
Um, but it can
I mean, I've
happen.
gone this
But it
whole
can
time
happen.
without having AIDS.
Yeah, but it can happen through a blood transfusion at a hospital if they're not uber careful.
Yeah, I mean, it could.
I mean, there's more than there's lots of ways that it can happen that don't require the scary, oh, don't do these things because it causes AIDS from
Well, yeah, but I mean,
from the
that's what that's
1980s.
but that's how we've pretty much like not gotten rid of AIDS, but it's not an epidemic like it was in the 80s.
Of course, not here. No, it's not. It's not anywhere at the proportions. But of course, it also doesn't get as much airtime either because it's kind of just become a status quo kind of thing. X number of people have AIDS. X number of people die from AIDS. Or
People don't really die from AIDS
well,
anymore, at least in the U.S.
symptoms associated with AIDS. They can. I mean,
You can, yeah, you
with the
can.
thing. Typically, it's not the AIDS virus that kills you anyway. It's just the things that it brings
Well,
on.
yeah, because it's an immune deficiency.
But yes, there are medicines that can pretty much give you your full lifetime back,
Hmm.
medications to maintain it, but still.
Wait, what is this? I think a lot of the changes we've seen since the transition for the Romantic period is the increased value of safety in life. Yeah, yeah, I mean that's true.
All right,
There's been a,
Seawall.
yeah.
Uh, he has a solution for the AIDS issue.
Is it a
I'm
final
I,
solution?
I'm
A
I'm
grand solution, buys. Grand solution.
I'm just saying if he says anything about an oven,
Jesus.
I'm like I don't know. I don't know. There's been a lot of goose stepping going on, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So you
lots
never
of
know.
blitzkrieging and honk honks in the chat there. So
But so you know what, Midget pointed something out real quick before we move on to another topic because I know you don't like talking about sick people because they just annoy you.
they do.
But Midget pointed something out. He said something to the effect, "Did you guys see releasing unlawful aliens into sanctuary
I
cities?"
did see that. That
Yeah.
was fucking hilarious.
Now, what planet were they from, or were they from that Mexican planet, the Honduran
Yeah,
planet?
they're from the planet directly south of the U.S.
Right. So something that I did see about that I thought was interesting was apparently Trump was down there a week ago in California,
Hmm.
and he was talking to I guess whoever's overseeing the all the migrants that are seeking asylum, and he's like, "Stop giving them asylum, turn them
Yeah.
away." And then it's been reported that hearsay that he also told him, if you get in any trouble for this, I'll just pardon you.
Yeah, that's right. I did hear
so,
that.
so supposedly that's what he told him.
Yeah.
Stop giving people amnesty, asylum.
Hmm.
Just turn them away. Stop.
Yeah.
I'll make sure you don't get in trouble. Um,
Yeah, that's fair enough. But I mean,
so
to be fair though, I wouldn't trust Trump when he says that. Because there was that one rally where he's like, as they're dragging one of the protesters out, and he's like, someone, punch him. I'll pay the legal fees or whatever.
right,
He never did.
right.
Never paid those legal fees.
That's our
For
president.
shame, Trump. For shame. I wag my finger at you, sir.
That's our Trump.
Oh, dude, you can't do the thumbs up anymore. That's racist now.
What is thumbs up bad for? What does that
It was
mean?
something like
Because this
this
should.
the rigid thumb being straights only. Um,
What if I
and
have?
then like something about four. being like the 14 words. I forget what it was, but it was something stupid shit. So we can't do the OK sign anymore. We can't thumbs up.
Well,
We
fuck
can't
you.
we
I'm
can't
I'm I'm
honk
doing
honk
thumbs up.
anymore.
I'm doing thumbs up. Next thing you know, they're going to kill peace. Is peace
White
not a
straights
thing?
above all others. That's what it is. Yeah, Seawall's got it.
What is it?
Thumb is white straights. White
White
straights
straight.
above all other.
Is that
But see, my,
really?
my thumb doesn't do that though, because I got the hitchhiker thumb thing, that gene that makes it curve. So I guess white
Well,
gaze above all others. I guess. I don't know.
you can't hold your thumb straight up?
I can. I have to
But
like
that's,
actually try. I have to
yeah.
try to, but like
But
it
who does
naturally
that?
does
No, you
this.
give a thumbs up. You give a thumbs up. You know, psing, and it's always curved back.
Yeah.
Bitches, right? The thumb is one, and the four
And
fingers equals
four,
one plus
yeah,
four.
four fingers equals 1 plus 4 is 14 words. Yeah,
14 words.
yeah.
Does any of that make sense? What are the
It,
14
it does.
words?
Don't worry about it. We're not going to say it live on the air. I'll tell you after because we're going to
Really?
get in
This
trouble.
is this is a thing now? And who is this?
Oh yeah,
Is this a white supremacist thing, or is this something somebody's
yes. No, it
turning
is actually
into a
like
white
it is actually a
supremacy
white.
thing?
It is an actual white supremacist thing. Hey, I didn't make the meme. That's right.
Wow. See, this is where I'm out of touch because it is a 4chan. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, 4chan made it another thing racist. What else? There was something. Oh yeah, the clown. Yeah, yeah. The clown world. So you put a little clown emoji next to the planet Earth, and that's racist now too.
And that sucks too because, I have my grandchild now, and one of the things, you want to teach them to be tactile with their hands and stuff. So I'm always teaching, like I taught my kids. I taught them very early how to do a thumbs up and how,
Yeah.
and how to say peace and things like this and use their fingers. Now I can't teach them to do a thumbs up and
Oh,
okay.
that's right. That's right. 4chan is trying to make the rainbow racist. That's right. They're trying to take the rainbow from the gays and make it racist by explaining how it's like the separation of the different races and like how they're supposed to stay in their own lines and shit like that. A space for each race. That's what it was. The little motto.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty hilarious stuff.
And
Gotta love 4chan.
does our society are we just so stupid that we can't see that we're being trolled on a
Well,
daily
it's not a
basis?
large it's not a large portion of society. It's just those fucking like blue checkmark journos on Twitter that get all riled up and
Well,
write articles about
sure.
it, and then
Well,
people laugh
sure.
at them, and then you rinse and repeat.
But eventually shit like this starts to get picked up little bits here and there on mainstream media.
Yeah,
So they
but
start looking at stupid shit like the Covington situation, and they start watching for these stupid things,
yeah, no, I
and
mean
people doing it.
it's a long term plan to kind of get the normies to see that the mainstream media is lying to them, that they're full of shit by constantly feeding them bullshit and watching them go crazy over it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
The
it's
four,
been rather effective.
the 14 words. Ooh.
Yeah.
The 14 words sure to get any YouTuber deplatformed.
Uh, I don't know. Probably probably would.
Hey, I don't know
I
if
know
you.
a few who have said it, but it
Oh
gets
yeah.
cited as useful for broadening censorious powers. Yeah, it does, but then that same censorship is going to get their credibility removed, and people are not going to like that. Then you're going to see, even normies getting, censored for shit, and then they're going to start, you know, getting pissed off and changing things,
Is
which is
I see, and this is again, you start talking about censorship. I'm telling you, I think we need to be concerned about our First Amendment.
yeah. There we go. Seawall's going to give us the 14 words as soon as he's
Oh,
done
never mind.
typing.
Okay,
You know exactly. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about now.
yeah.
I gotcha. I've seen that. I don't know it by heart, but I've seen it. It's
It's
just more.
only 14 words. It's not
It's
like it's a lot.
it's more stupid bullshit. Yeah, yeah. In fact,
Flamethrowers too. What? I think you meant flamethrowers. I don't know. Or two
flamethrowers.
flamethrowers.
Wait, did the flamethrowers? Does that factor back into the solution for HIV for AIDS?
It might.
No,
It very
his
well
idea
might.
was that if you knowingly pass HIV along to someone, you incur all the medical costs associated with that person's sickness for the rest of
Yeah.
their life, which is fine, except prove it. catch me,
Well,
collect
yeah.
that debt. You know, I think if you see, I stand by any place that puts somebody in jail for knowingly transmitting HIV.
Yeah, yeah, because that is definitely a violation of their rights to not have AIDS. That is a right I believe in. I believe that everyone has a right to not have AIDS.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
at least willingly. You know, if they want AIDS. Those bug chasers, they can have it. But other than that, fuck off.
so
No AIDS.
since we're talking about censorship in the media, somebody got arrested this week, John, and it was Julian Assange.
Oh shit. Yeah,
He
it's
was
fucking sad.
arrested in London after
I cry every time.
The Ecuadorian embassy has evicted him. Basically, they were one of the. Ultimately, they gave the reason. It basically had to do with they were tired of trying to keep him off the internet, to keep him, for him to just sit there at the embassy and shut the fuck up and
Yeah.
stay out of shit, and he wouldn't. So,
Well, there's a lot more that went into it too. Why
sure,
he got kicked out.
sure.
A lot of the things that he did while he was there, a lot
Well,
of
that's what I'm
behaviors
saying.
that he was engaging in that weren't just online.
Well, no, I understand how he was as a person factored into it as well. You know, they didn't love having him there,
Yeah.
but he couldn't. You know, the whole point to one of the biggest points to him being there was to keep from being arrested and extradited for these different things. And you know, they're like, well, quit stirring the fucking pot if you don't want people coming after you.
Well, I mean,
You're
he's doing
here.
his job as a journalist, you know.
Yeah, but they kind of ask him not to since we're giving you asylum.
Yeah, see, I don't think that was actually why he was given up, though. I think they were just sick of him as a person.
Sure, but they did a credit that he both things. I mean, they were tired of him and they were tired of his shenanigans, both online and off. He
Yeah.
was just, you know, they were fed up with him. He was just the roommate that would never go away, so they let him go.
Yeah.
He was arrested in London. So, um, the thing about it is there have been some. Yeah, see, there are questions, and Seawall says, and this was what I was going
Hmm.
to point out questions if he was actually acting as a journalist or assisted with the hacks of Manning. Um,
Yeah.
so they already have dealt with her that she was actively mining these files. I'm going to say mining these files, getting this information. And he was supposed to be in
The
cahoots
diamond
with her.
pickaxe.
Right. He was supposed to be in cahoots with her getting this information.
Show trial incoming. Yeah, it's gonna be a good season of America, boys.
Right.
Can't wait.
Well, that's if the UK decides to extradite him, because
Oh, they're going to.
they're on the
You
fence
think for a
about whether they
second?
will. Uh,
Come on.
but it's
They
the
they can't successfully leave the EU. There's no way they're gonna. I mean, they keep surrendering to France of all places. I mean, they're gonna give us fucking Julian Assange.
well,
Come on.
we want him on charges of conspiracy to commit computer intrusion.
Right.
Right? That's what we want to get our hands on him for. But ultimately, let's be honest. That's not why they want their hands on him. They want their hands on him to have the opportunity to try and waterboard the shit out of every bit of information they can get from him
Yeah.
about everything that's gone on in the last 3 or 4 years. You can't
I
spell
think
cuck
they
with
won't.
that,
You
can
can't.
you?
That's right. You can't spell cuck
Um,
without the UK. See, Midget B knows.
so his lawyer plans to fight the extradition request because she is going on the foundation of him being a journalist. Um, I have the so my question becomes like, so does he have chops as a journalist? You know, because it's he's it sounds like he became more of an activist. He's more about whistleblowing. He wants to blow the top
Yeah,
off of and get behind the scenes on shit and make
which has
sure
been
that
really
people are
important work.
right. And I can
It's been,
understand
yeah.
that people want transparency from their governments, this, that, and the other. Um, but is he actually a journalist that can stand on that as a fight in this thing. It does the simple fact that he found information, that he's released information, does that qualify? I mean, you know,
Hmm.
do we qualify as journalists because we sit here and talk about the news,
I don't think so.
right?
'Cause we're not putting out our own original news. Like we're just kind of commenting on what other people have said in the news. So I don't think we count as journalists. But I mean, he's actually put things out. So let's see. A man can do important work, but also do really fucked up things like reveal documents on how our anti-IED countermeasures work. Yeah, I don't agree with everything he's put out, but he has obviously put out some really important stuff.
Well, now let's bear this in mind. He's not. It's not like he's an American citizen.
Right.
So if he puts out information about, like what Seawall said there, how these countermeasures.
Mm.
I
Hmm.
mean, who's he beholden to when he just, he puts things out there from other countries? You know, does that make him a bad person? Is that, you know, I mean, he's exposing things all. Yes, some things that probably shouldn't be seen are going to be a part of it, but uh,
Yeah.
where do you draw the line on that? When does it become journalism? When does it become, uh, incitement? Where he's put out some pretty controversial shit, right?
Yeah. Sure. Absolutely. I don't know. I mean, I think whatever they're trying to get him for is not. I mean, yeah, he's getting for what was the conspiracy to would you say it was
Well,
commit computer intrusion or whatever?
yes, that's all. That's all we can get him on, right? Because it's not like we
Yeah.
can get him on anything, that we could get a citizen on. I mean, what do you,
Yeah.
what are you going to charge him with treason? No, you can't, right? So, some conspiracy for computer fraud. At most, he'll be facing 5 years here, right?
Oh,
Um,
whatever. He's gonna end hero on the way. Somebody's gonna commit suicide twice to the back of the head on
I
his
mean,
way to some prison or another.
the only reason why he was arrested in London was because of a failure to appear
Yeah.
in court, right?
Hmm.
Because he went into asylum. But the original charges that all this stems from, all his hiding and everything, was in Sweden over a couple of harassment and rape charges, which have since been dropped. They're gone. So that doesn't exist. So he's just got the failure to appear in the
Well, yeah, because the
UK.
rape charges were bullshit to begin with.
Right. So it's all gone away. So he's not wanted for any of that anymore.
Hmm.
So then the
It was
only
the
thing
failure
that's
to
left
appear.
is us wanting to get our hands on him for a trivial 5-year stint for potential
Mm.
conspiracy with someone who was dredging up files.
Yeah, he's not gonna make it to the prison. You watch. He's gonna get tried, and then he's gonna be found having hung himself in a cell or something like that with very
Yeah,
suspicious circumstances.
you think he'll
Oh
die?
yeah.
Why would anybody want him dead, John?
Yeah.
I mean, you
I
know,
think we'll add another one to the Hillary Clinton body count here soon. You
I
wait.
I don't know that she would want him gone as much as somebody else might.
Hong Kong. Yeah, exactly. I feel you.
I mean, would he not be more of a threat to Trump at this point?
No, Trump loves WikiLeaks.
Unless
Said
they,
it himself.
yeah, but he's not immune. you know, he's not
I mean,
immune to
have they
what
put anything
WikiLeaks
out?
might dump.
Have they put anything out about him? I
Well,
don't think so. I'm pretty sure I would have heard about it. I
not
don't think
yet.
so.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like and how much of a leverage point is that for Assange? To keep from even having to worry about coming to America. I mean,
I don't know.
he might have the leverage to just not even fucking have to show up here, even if they did decide they would extradite him. Just make a phone call. You know what? I tell you what, we've got. And
Mhm.
somebody said it earlier. Somebody with their finger on the dead man switch. They're trying to make sure
Yep.
there's uh, arresting associates with access to the dead man switch. It's like, okay, well, what's poised? What's there? What does he
Yeah.
know? And I think that's really why they want to get their hands on him more than anything, is to find out what else he might know.
Right. And how he's getting who he's getting his information from and his sources especially.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Because it's if no matter how much Trump likes WikiLeaks, he'll quickly have an issue with somebody. I mean, it's show me a little disloyalty and you're fucked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't get everybody. That I'm sure Assange has a network of people that's just immense. I can only
Oh yeah.
imagine. I would love to see his Rolodex.
Rolodex. He probably would have a physical Rolodex, like a physical copy of,
Right?
shit,
Somewhere.
not on the
Like,
computer. Yeah.
right? I mean, that is still, ultimately the best way to make sure something's safe.
Oh yeah,
I
his
bet his
lawyer
lawyer
probably has
does.
it
Oh,
too.
yeah. And, she's fighting the extradition and everything, so, it might work. But, yeah. I think that he probably does have something that'll be enough leverage. I do, and he'll be okay. I don't think he'll wind up coming to America, and I doubt if he'll go on trial. It's a bullshit charge. It really
Yeah.
is. I don't think it carries enough weight to even question whether or not it's about him being a journalist. It has to do with the simple fact that, really, prove it. Prove that he did it. He wasn't the one hacking the files. Just because someone gave them to
That
him,
we know of, yeah.
And what did he also? And we'll drop that as an ultimate failsafe, as arresting his lawyer will be a death sentence for the deep state. Yeah.
Hmm.
Honestly, if he does get extradited to America, I wouldn't trust anything he may put out in the future. I consider him compromised. Compromised? Yes and no. Well,
In a way,
does
maybe I can see the argument for
has
that.
anything he's ever put out ever indicated that he might be compromised?
Well,
So
nothing he's
much
ever put
as
out has been false.
right.
He's only ever put like real things out. Never, no fake news from WikiLeaks.
Right. So he would have to put something out and not pass the litmus test for that to be
Yeah.
true. Now, the as far as compromised, as far in as to what he's putting out and about who, I could see that. I could see them controlling what he puts out on
Hmm.
WikiLeaks. Yeah, you can put out the truth as long as it's about this, and this.
Right.
You know.
As long as it's our truth. Yeah,
It
Jesus.
is believed he may have attempted to assist Manning in getting additional resources to expand the hacking efforts. Is that the game they're playing?
Is that a crime? I don't know.
Helping
I
her
mean,
get
if I
that's
buy you a
conspiracy.
router, if I buy you a router and you hack with, I
Hold
don't
on.
know.
If he knew what the
Yeah,
money was
yeah.
for.
I,
So
yeah,
if
I
he knows
understand.
she's getting the files, then it is conspiracy.
It's just stories.
Yeah, see, exactly. That's what we're saying,
Yeah,
Tiji.
yeah.
Yeah, compromised in that way. So the 5 years. He just did 7 in the Ecuadorian embassy. How bad can an American prison be?
Oh yeah, it'd
You
be
know,
way better.
yeah. But it's since we're talking about media and Trump and all that, I just wanted to mention that in case nobody saw it, the fucking National Enquirer is up for sale.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For how much?
I didn't see how much
How
they're
much are they
trying to
asking?
get for it, but
Damn.
oh,
Oh, nice.
may have got different creds to make the hacking harder to track and get more access. Interesting.
I
Yeah.
could see that. Yeah.
Does he look
Yeah. I
that
mean,
smart?
it's
Does
kind of
he
hard to
even?
trust anyone.
Yeah, you
You're
can't.
right about that. I mean,
And
yeah.
we've reached that point. We've reached the X-Files point. Trust no one, right?
Yeah. The truth is out there, though.
Yeah. No, I don't know how much they're selling the National Enquirer for, but they're dumping that. But the real question is, who the fuck buys it? Who the fuck?
I would.
BuzzFeed will buy it.
I would buy. BuzzFeed couldn't buy shit.
No, I was just
Oh my
saying
god,
that
they
that's
couldn't buy
the
bagels for their 7 employees in the with
that's the
money.
kind of
No,
outfit I would expect
not
to pick up
happening.
something like National Enquirer, right? You know, their stories are kind of in line together. You know,
Well, I mean, BuzzFeed actually pretends to be a real news outlet, though,
maybe
so I don't think they would do that.
who owns the Onion? Maybe they'll buy it
I don't know. Maybe.
and turn it into the fucking
Yeah.
humor magazine it ought to be. But
Yeah, I like
anyway,
the Babylon Bee better than the Onion nowadays.
Babylon B. Why does that sound
Yeah,
familiar?
it's a satirical site. It's pretty
So
good, pretty funny shit.
so talking about continuing on talking about you know, media, journalists, censorship, the whole fucking 9 yards. Well, there's a big to do going on with YouTube this week. I
Oh
think you might have
yeah,
seen some of that, right, John?
probably.
I think I've seen you a few times checking the numbers, right? The tally board, as it were, on YouTube for the top spot on
Oh,
YouTube.
for yeah, the PewDiePie versus T series. Yeah,
PewDiePie.
there's a couple of live streams that have a live count of both of them, and it shows the difference between their subscribers. When I checked just before the show, PewDiePie was still over like 120,000, I think it was, subscribers. So he's got a nice, like, comfortable lead now, which is nice.
Um, so the first thing that I saw that happened with him, and you might know a little bit more about this. Tim Pool did a
Hmm.
video on this. I watched. Um, he's signed a deal with a new blockchain streaming service called DLive, and
Yep.
he's signed an exclusive live stream contract with them. So he will not be doing live streaming on any other channel but DLive now.
Yeah.
Now, Tim was of the mind that that means YouTube will probably try and get rid of him. We'll try and axe him out of the YouTube picture.
Yeah.
And then the next thing that happens is that he gives them a reason to do so. Because apparently, you know, this competition that goes on between him and T Series, right?
Yeah.
It's a constant war for the top spot on YouTube, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So recently, he did a couple of videos, 2 videos that were targeting India and T Series, and basically, he contends that T Series contends that in an attempt to surpass T Series as the top channel on YouTube, PewDiePie has been uploading defamatory and disparaging music videos which target not just T Series but Indians as a community.
Oh.
Further, the complaint also stated that the videos contain racist, inflammatory, and hateful remarks against Indians.
Wow.
So, keeping in mind these factors, the Delhi High Court in India has directed YouTube to take strict action against PewDiePie. Furthermore, there's another petition that is expected to be filed against Swedish YouTube star Felix Arvid Ulf Jolberg. Damn, what a name!
It's Felix Kelberg.
Is it? Oh, the J is silent. I thought it was. I thought the
Yeah.
K was silent and the
No,
J, Jolberg.
no,
So
the
it's
J is like an
Kelberg.
H.
So Kelberg. Okay, Felix Arvid
Yeah.
Ulf Kelberg, aka PewDiePie,
Yeah.
for his racist comments.
That's
So,
Nordic as fuck.
so,
It's
so, is this a different PewDiePie or is this the same guy?
the same guy.
Okay,
That's
so
his real name. Obviously, his real name
that's the
isn't
name he
PewDiePie.
does. He does that under that name in Swedish on Swedish YouTube.
No, what do you mean? No, his real name is Felix Kelberg.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
they filed not only they've not only directed YouTube as a whole, but they also are filing a petition against Swedish YouTube star. Oh, against him directly. It's
Right.
very confusing. The
Not
way
not
they confuse them.
PewDiePie
Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
LLC.
See,
Yeah, or whatever. I don't know, whatever their thing is.
they try to be too fucking wordy and smart with how they put it, and it can addled
Yeah,
brains 50.
good job.
But anyway, so they want so the Delhi High Court wants the video deleted. Um,
Yeah, bitch
and
lasagna and congratulations, which are two hilarious videos, music videos. They're great.
are they
By the way,
racist?
there's no, not at all. But they are still up as of right before when I checked up right before the show. They're both still there. So they haven't been taken down yet, but I think they were made unavailable in India, which is pretty funny.
So there's nothing truly like racist or negative to India in the videos, or
Like
is
so,
it
there are
completely
some things that might
mocking
be
them?
considered. There might be something considered, like defamatory, not defamatory, but just negative towards India in general. In that, like, talks about shitting in the street, things like that. Makes fun of the Bob's and Vagine meme. That's pretty much. I mean, really, that's about it.
Shitting in the street?
Yeah, it's a big problem over there with people just shitting in the street.
Why would you just shit in the street?
Not everyone has toilets, Robert.
Really?
Some people are poor. Yeah,
Stop fucking.
yeah, might be a good idea.
I mean,
But again, when you're really poor, there's not really much else to do. Sit around and fuck,
or shit in the street.
or shit in the street in between fuck sessions. Yeah,
Seriously?
sometimes you gotta take a shit. I mean,
This is a
curry makes
problem?
you shit. I don't know if you ever had it before.
But why
Curry
does
makes you shit.
how, I don't know. How does China have the same problem with their mass populations?
I have no idea.
Because it seems like an
Probably
odd
not.
thing. It's like, really, it's that hard to find a bathroom?
I don't know. I don't know what the difference is with China, but yeah.
So,
So, I mean, obviously, no. Anything that he's done isn't actually racist. He might have, made light of, some of their culture. That's about it.
well,
Doesn't make it
that's
racist.
what I was it like. I guess I'm curious as to if they were like stereotypical attacks.
Yeah, yeah.
Attacking the
Using a lot of
stereotypes.
stereotypes. Yeah,
That is racist these days.
yeah, but it's not really racist though.
Walk up to a black
Just
man and
because
ask him where he's hiding the watermelon. You'll probably
if
get
you walk up to
punched.
the if you walk up to the right black man, especially if he's your friend,
Well, that's I
he'll
didn't say
understand
walk
that
up
you're
to your
joking.
friend. I just said a black
Yeah.
man. That makes it
Well,
a
why would you
very
do that?
generic black man,
I
right?
guess.
Or
Yeah.
walk up to him and let's go get some fried chicken, homie. You're gonna get
Well, I mean,
killed,
you can walk up to
right?
anyone and do that, and they'll be like, "Hell yeah, let's get fried chicken."
No, though
I would do that.
I don't think you'll walk into a black neighborhood or up to a black person and say that and get the same response you will from somebody a white guy who's just hungry.
What if I offered to pay? If I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go get some black chicken,
Yeah,
some fried chicken, not black
quit,
chicken, some
quit.
fried chicken."
See, now you're just trying to pad the
Yeah,
situation.
go get some fried chicken. You want some? I'm
But
paying.
look, John, you and I both know that, like, okay, so we're not in a social culture
Yeah, no, I
that will
understand.
allow stereotypes anymore. It's just not allowed, right? I mean, you can't do shit anymore. We're getting to that point. Censorship is about to be real.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, this is India's high court or Delhi's high court, I guess, talking
Well,
about
Delhi is
being
in India.
offended.
It's not the Delhi down the street. It's
No,
New
I
Delhi in
understand.
India.
Wait, is it New Delhi or Delhi?
I think it's the New Delhi.
Pretty sure it just said Delhi,
Yeah,
but
the Delhi High Court, but still, that's
right,
pretty
which is
big.
different than like the Supreme Court of India or whatever they have.
Oh, do they have a higher level than
I
Delhi?
assume. I assume. I don't know. I don't know how they work. I'm not an expert on
So
the
you're just
Indian
talking
justice system.
shit. Why do I listen to you, John?
I don't know. When does anyone? You looking it up?
I wish Google was fun. So they do have a Supreme Court in India, but
There you go. They have Supreme
wow,
Court.
you don't want to use Wikipedia, but when Wikipedia is 1, 2, 3, 4, the top five answers options in your Google search. It's like, fuck.
I don't
Do
want to
I
scroll that
do I
much. Oh my
need
god.
to avoid Wikipedia right now? But shit, that Supreme Court's only been in place, and that's in New Delhi. That's only been in place since 1950. It functions from out of their Parliament House. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So the Supreme Court is the Chief Justice and 30 other judges appointed by the President of India. Um, uh, Provisions exist for the appointment of a judge of a high court as an ad hoc judge of the Supreme Court, and for retired judges of the Supreme Court or high courts to sit. So that high court, the Delhi High Court, is a high court that is one step below the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So for the country. So, but still, my guess is that it's kind of like our state Supreme Court answers to the federal Supreme Court. But if our state
Hmm.
Supreme Court puts something into place, rarely will the federal Supreme Court step in.
Right.
It's hoped, right? But this is, in my opinion, this is like this the impetus that YouTube would need to get rid of him if he's going to throw them under the bus by signing an exclusive deal with somebody else to live stream, right? I mean,
Only for live streams, yeah. He'll still have
sure,
his videos on
but
YouTube.
that means all of his. But he will also be putting probably all his other content on there as well. I mean,
Most likely, I
right,
imagine he would back it up, yeah.
mirror it on there.
Hmm.
So I guess the real question is, how much business does he generate for YouTube, like from a dollar standpoint,
Oh man,
versus
I don't know.
versus can well, I guess YouTube could stand to lose one of the two top people on YouTube without much issue, right?
No, not at all. They
You don't
operate at a
think?
lot.
I mean, they're
No.
Google.
Yeah, YouTube itself though operates at a loss. The only reason it's still around, it's able to hang in there, is because Google's pumping money into it, throwing good money after bad.
Well, sure. Well, yeah. But what do you the other option is to close YouTube. They're not going to shut YouTube down, right?
Mm,
Is it
maybe. I mean, I don't think it's long for this world. I mean, maybe another 5 or 6 years, maybe 10 years max for YouTube.
really?
Yeah.
You think it'll go the way of the MySpace?
Oh yeah. They've just gotten way too big and bloated, and trying to police too much of its own content that it can't, because it's, like I said, it's too huge.
Why have so? I'm curious as to why it hasn't broken down into sub YouTubes. Like why there aren't subsidiary YouTubes. YouTube Music, YouTube TV, YouTube Movies, YouTube Media, YouTube Mainstream Media, YouTube Politics, to where you could,
You can
individualize
curate
pay
your
for
experience.
curate
Yeah.
and pay for certain things, right?
I would be fine with that. But see, the thing is, that's a good idea. So they're obviously not going to do that because they're incapable of good ideas.
So then they won't. You don't think they could get rid of PewDiePie then, right? I mean,
I think it would be the absolute wrong move. I think that would piss off way too many people. Watch time. They don't want you going anywhere. Yeah, exactly. They don't want. They certainly don't want to go. If he gets banned, there'll be a huge exodus from YouTube. People will shut down their accounts and protest and move to these other platforms.
yeah, but
And then they're going to get larger, which means that, companies like GoDaddy and, PayPal and stuff won't be able to ban them because they'll be too huge.
so you don't think him going to another site to do live streaming from, and potentially probably backing having his content posted there as well, that isn't going to cause an exodus to a certain degree? I guess not on the
It'll well,
same
no,
level.
no, because you can obviously, you can have an account on both services, right?
Hmm.
You can have an account on YouTube and an account on DLive.
But dropping him would cause a boycott.
Right, exactly. A massive boycott. I mean, not only his almost 100 million subscribers, but also people who are against that level of censorship. And if you take him out, the top dog, that's it.
Well, let me
I
ask you
mean,
this though.
YouTube's going to be gone. The top pewd.
that you may not have considered.
Mm-hmm.
How many people that watch what PewDiePie does, keeping him up there at the top, also watch T Series, keeping him at the top? How many shared subscribers do
Probably
they have?
very few.
Really? You think?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
just the simple fact that there's the two main competitors. I mean, I've watched you not go on and watch their videos, but watch the competition from the numbers, right? The stats,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing who's doing what. Um, so you don't think there's people that are hitting both sides of that coin to see what
No, I
is
mean there
going
might
on
be.
with both of them?
There might be, but they're tiny. It's a tiny amount. No, I mean, what the thing is with T series, and I haven't confirmed this or anything, but I've heard that if you make a YouTube account in India, it automatically subscribes you to T series.
That's funny.
It's true or not?
So he's like the Tom.
Yeah,
He's like the Tom of YouTube,
from MySpace. Yeah.
right? Um, okay, so here's the thing: is it possible that PewDiePie doesn't have the kind of mass following that it would really be that big of an impact?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, let's put it this way. I would say it wasn't until maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, I had no idea who PewDiePie was.
You're also not his demographic. I mean, everyone knows who PewDiePie
But
is.
I've been watching stuff on YouTube for years, but I've
Yeah,
never
but
even seen the name, never even heard.
were you watching like gaming, videos, or were you watching
Oh no, I think gaming videos
like
are
cringe compilations and things like that? So that's why you wouldn't have heard of him, right? You weren't in
yeah,
that
because
sphere of
watching
YouTube.
other people play a game is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard of.
Why is that?
Because you just go play it yourself.
You never watched football or anything before? It's the same concept. Why don't you just go play?
Yeah, I was forced to.
Well,
But I did want to play football, but I wasn't allowed to.
but you had to watch it. You were forced to watch it, but you weren't
Right.
allowed to play.
Seriously.
Weird. Well, I'm sure there's some kids out there who
Yeah.
would love to play some video games, but aren't allowed to. So they watch other people do it.
Well, maybe, but they're not forced to.
Not
No,
forced to watch, yeah.
no. It's just I didn't. I didn't. Like I knew that I had never really looked into it. I probably would have known if I had cared enough to find out who the top dog on YouTube. Like, I see YouTube. Sad to say,
Cat videos.
here I am. I'm gonna agree with the fucking CEO to a certain
Oh,
extent
Jesus.
and say I've just always seen it as just this is where to go for media. This is where you go find any kind of media you want. It's like a media library. It's sad
Yeah.
to say. Um, but it's good to watch if you don't have money to spend on games, like a lot of young kids, teens, which are the primary users of YouTube nowadays.
And also his primary audience. There's the running meme on his channel is, he's got an army of 9-year-olds, to do his bidding. Those are his subscribers.
If there's one thing that I can say from the amount of shit that I see, video games are not a lot of people are at a loss for video games. If you've got a phone, you've got access to video games. I mean,
Yeah, those don't count.
Since when?
Those are like the methadone of video games,
All right.
just to get you through the next 24 hours until you can get back to video games. I don't think it counts.
Morrowind has actually put out a pretty decent mobile MMO. Like
No, bullshit.
no,
You're
seriously.
bullshitting. There's no such thing.
It's called Blades, and it looks like playing.
Ugh.
It's. I loaded it up, and I haven't really gotten deep into it or anything yet, but it looked like I was sitting in front of my TV, just with the Morrowind game.
No, there's only one good MMO ever exist, and that was EVE Online. That's it.
That's not true.
That is the only good MMO to ever exist.
But so there weren't any other good MMOs before Eve.
Correct.
So they weren't. There wasn't anything good to prompt more MMOs to be made like Eve.
Right. Right.
Gotcha.
And you came along and did it right.
You know what? You will not fucking diss EverQuest like that. You piece of shit.
Fuck EverQuest.
EverQuest was the shit.
Fight me IRL, bro.
Let's go. I'm not
Let's
afraid
do
of
it.
you. I will beat. I will give you an EverQuest beating. Stand dot sit med. Stand dot sit. That's all I'll fucking do the whole time. You don't
Yeah.
even know what's hitting you.
Yeah.
All I need
It's because
is
nothing's gonna be hitting me because that game sucks.
all I need is a fucking tank.
Jesus. Oh my god. Nope.
I used to have a badass necromancer on EverQuest, and that's pretty much what I do. I just
Yeah,
get
but
on.
you and everyone else did too.
No, a
You
lot
just
of
got
people
that level
did.
boost to level 80, didn't you? That's right,
For
Tenchi.
EverQuest to a cure for whooping. Nice.
For whooped ass.
You know what? EverQuest was, it kind of was like the. Well, no, we got to go back. We got to go back further. Have you ever played?
See, well, I never played Star Wars Galaxies, but that's the only one that I was considering playing.
Star Wars Galaxies
Other than
rocked,
Eve.
and they killed me when they took it away. There's mirror servers where they actually run Star Wars
Oh yeah,
Galaxies.
that's one I would actually be willing to try.
It was awesome, man.
But every other MMO I've ever played, including Star Wars, what was it, Old Republic, did not like. Could not get into them. They were just, I don't know, just I can't do it.
You know what I liked about Star Wars Galaxies?
What's that?
Not everybody could be a fucking Jedi.
Oh yeah,
Like you couldn't just be a Jedi. And that was awesome. You had to go through, like when they first started the game, you had to go through some fucking amazing shit. You had to go and you had to gather what are the cubes?
the holocrons.
Holocrons. You had to go and gather these
Yeah.
holocrons, and you when you opened the holocron or used the holocron, it wasn't there was no guarantees there. It was a crapshoot as to whether or not you would be able to unlock, anything to towards pathing towards a Jedi. The
Space combat would.
It
Space
was
combat's
awesome.
always awesome.
Oh, it was.
It's always awesome.
But they had it done well too. Like I suck at flying at things where you have to fly, like whether it's space or in planes or whatever. But man, that one was a very simple learning curve, and yeah, it was one of the best. And you be on the ground and go jump into your ship. If I can go fly and kill, just yeah. Star Wars Galaxies rocked, and I can't believe they got rid of it.
Well, you said there's mirror servers, right?
Yeah, you can
Let's
still
start,
find
let's start
it.
a generational gap clan.
We should do that. I haven't. I have to see if we can find one to make sure they're still up and running. I would hope they are.
Yeah.
It's been.
If not, we can do that on Eve. So
been a few
generational
years.
gap corporation on Eve.
Yeah.
Eve Online is the shit.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's amazing because you can actually break it with through the economic means. It's fucking awesome. Played Eve. Yeah, Eve is awesome.
The last time I played Eve seriously, I infiltrated a corp and hit him for. Worked my way up just a little bit, just enough to get access. I didn't get access to the main vault, but I got access to like the almost main vault, and I've still got I know my characters. I've got a ton of ships, and I've got all these parts, and all these this, that, and the other. Just a ton of shit, just sitting to where it's like, okay, what ships do you want to build? All these blueprints and shit that I stole out of there.
Yeah, man, it's time to get back into it. Yeah, no, I remember Tenchi stole an Orca, one of the the resource ships. It's very valuable, pretty expensive, and he managed to steal one from another corporation. It's pretty awesome. He's done a bunch of shit.
Well, there was. Do you remember? I'm gonna say it was somewhere between 5 and 10 years ago. I can't remember the exact time frame. But there was a big issue on Eve because a corporate sabotage had gone on, and
Hmm.
like one corporation had sent multiple people into this other corporation under the radar, and they able to and literally pulled off like the craziest heist in Eve history, to the extent that it, you know, they actually equated it to real world dollars.
Oh yeah, they've
Um,
done that a number of times.
in the
Battles and stuff costing hundreds of thousands of real dollars.
and
It
the
insane.
corporation that got raided, they were calling foul. They were wanting Eve to do something about it, and Eve basically said,
Boo. Yeah,
"People are
they stole a
pirates."
Titan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people
that's part of the game. I mean, that's why it's so great.
people are pirates. If you
Yeah,
fell for that shit, if you got
yeah,
conned, that's
that's part of the game. Yeah,
that's why we have bounties.
yeah.
You know,
Put a
that
bounty on them, right?
that's all you do, right? That's some
And
great
to what
fishing.
Sewell was saying, I've got the best miner character. I can mine anything that you want me to. I can fly any miner or any resource ship, like if like jump freighters and blockade runners. Like I can move shit from one place to another, and I can mine it. It's pretty. I can also stealth. I got a lot of stealth stuff too, stealth bomber, and all that.
I might have to log back into. I think I've got. Do I have Eve downloaded? I thought I have it downloaded somewhere in the background, but I have to get back on
Yeah,
piece of
yeah.
ass.
We should do that.
Look for look for piece of
I
ass.
can do the same. I'll mine more per hour than you, Sewell. I bet you. Stealth bomber buddies. Fuck yeah, let's do it. Let's do a corp. Let's do a generational gap corp. Fuckers never wanted to do combat. No, I didn't. I was never a combat oriented pilot in Eve. That was what was fun about it. Was that you don't have to be combat oriented. You don't have to do PvP. But you'll get killed a lot though. Like a lot. Yeah, no, I've got cargo vessels too. I've got a jump freighter.
I remember
Fight me.
the last time I did log on, all that shit that I stole. It was overwhelming. I'm like, I don't even know where to begin with all this shit.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
The
Yeah, I
only
tried
thing
to
I
get you
did,
back in.
I wound up consolidating most all of it into a couple of spaceports close by each. But I'm just like, man, what do I do with all this shit? I mean, I was like, I started
I mean,
going
you could
through
just sell
boxes
it.
and opening them up, and I'm like, yeah, well, see, I started to do that too, and it's like, oh, because you got to price check everything and set it around. I'm like, fuck, it'd be like, you know, like a full time job on eBay kind of thing.
Just offer like a bulk price to a couple of corporations. Just like, hey, I got all this shit. I'll give it to you for X amount.
Yeah, let me get it back.
Whatever it is, you can have it.
I'll put it back on this computer, and I'll reach out to you.
All
Just
right, cool.
my character's name is Peas O apostrophe ASE. Piece of ass.
Nice.
Yeah, she's cute. Yeah, she wears sunglasses like you.
Yeah, mine was Iyama Fago, like my main, screen name that I use. But then someone got offended and reported it, and I had to change it. Even though I had that name for over a year, and no one got offended until one person did. And they're like, "Hey, can you change your name?" And I'm like, "The game doesn't let you do that. I can't." And then I got reported, and I couldn't log in again until I reached out to their customer service thing, and they were like, "Yeah, you got reported for being having an offensive name, and we agree that it's offensive, so you need to change it." I was just like, "God damn it!" Yeah, we'll see. Well, we'll talk after the show about where we can meet up and all that in the Eve.
Yeah, I think
Because
we.
now I'm gonna have to get that fucking game again. God damn, I have to renew my subscription.
Well, no, you can play for free now.
Yeah, is it really playing though? Can't use all my ships. All my ships are way too good for
Yeah,
the free bullshit.
that's another thing about it. It's like, so I've got all these ships I don't have. I can't access now.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
fuck you assholes.
Yeah,
I'll just have to drop one of my streaming services and replace it with that.
there you go. Stream some
But
Eve instead.
they also have a way of doing it now where there's an in-game currency that you can get your hands on. What is it, Plex or something like that?
Yeah, the
And you
Plex.
can
Yeah,
use that Plex to buy game time,
yeah,
so you don't have to spend real-world dollars. But
yep.
ultimately, I think that even getting your hands on the Plex winds up resulting in real-world dollars.
Yeah. Oh, I've pumped money into that to get like Plex and stuff. I've definitely done that before. It's a good money sink if you want it to be.
Oh, the MMO RuneScape. Do you remember RuneScape?
I was in middle school at one point, but I never played RuneScape.
Yeah, that was some early time precursor MMO stuff
Yeah,
going
that
on
was
there.
that was middle school for me, and everyone I knew played it, and I was like, "No, you guys are fucking idiots," and I was right. They're fucking idiots.
So have you ever played in a mud?
No, I'm not sure what that is. That sounds familiar.
A mud is a multi-user dungeon
Oh yeah, no,
that
never done it.
that's done through chat. This was back in the AOL era.
Oh yeah, okay. I've done the what are they called? Like the text-based RPGs.
Yeah, that's
What
what it.
was that one that was like big? I forget what it was now. God damn it! Yeah, I've played those though, the text-based ones,
Well,
but not like in an
not
AOL chat room.
yeah, no. The muds were like before there were RP and a lot of much going on with RPGs online and stuff. There would be chat rooms that you could go into. And it was live action role playing, and they were called muds. And you go in, and there would be a moderator and this that and the other directing everything, and you went in character and just did your thing and hang out. What was it? The Red Dragon Inn, I think, is what it was. Was the chat room I used to go into on AOL
Oh my
and
god, memories,
yeah, and
memories.
RPG in a chat room, logging into my through my CompuServe account.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, CompuServe, AOL. Let me throw things out that really
Yeah,
confuse people.
right.
Um,
Just throwing out words. You're just making shit up, old man.
yeah, I shit. I'm still on an Earthlink.net
That's
email
right. You no,
at
aren't you on like a
at bellsouth.net.
Bell South? Yeah, you're
At
on fucking Bell
bellsouth.net.
South.
I still
Oh my
I still
god.
have some things that are looking for an Earthlink account that I don't have
That is
anymore.
awesome. That is funny. Oh
Yeah,
man,
I even
good shit.
I'm tempted to find out if my AOL screen name email wound up uh, transitioning into a Roadrunner. Do you remember Roadrunner,
Yes, yeah.
the internet service?
We actually got that as soon as it came out because my dad was always on top of the new like computer stuff because he was a general manager at a computer store back when that was a thing.
How do you not know more
So,
about computers than you dumb fuck?
because I didn't give a fuck, I wanted to play games on them. That's all I did with them until I got old enough to get on the internet, and then I got on the internet, and then I found 4chan, and then yeah,
See, I came up in a time where if you were going to play games on a computer, it was a good idea to know how to build that fucking computer.
I didn't need to. My dad did. He would just get a new computer and then hand me his old one. So like I just always had computers in my room.
Goddamn entitled piece of shit. I tell you what,
Yeah,
it's just sad. Kaldari. I'm trying to remember piece of ass. What's my race? Am I Amar? No.
I was the
Yeah.
Galante or whatever, Galante or shit, some shit. I
Galente.
forget what it was called. Galente, yeah, Galente.
What was I want to say
I
am I
think I'm in Brutai space or whatever that one was. I don't know. We'll figure it. We'll figure it out. Obviously later on. Do we have any topics left, or are we?
well,
Oh, we got
they
3 likes now. I can do a face reveal. Sweet.
PewDiePie. We were talking.
Oh
PewDiePie was
yeah.
about a. It's like just saying. I'm curious as to how much. So, well, let me ask you this: do we need to consider D Live?
I do think it's a good idea to have, our fingers in multiple pies,
I
just in case something happens to YouTube
because
or a channel here. We'll have something to you have another place
well, I
to
don't
have
think.
archived
Yeah, but
stuff
I
and
don't think we can live stream on both. But
yeah, we can do live streaming on multiple like platforms.
at one time.
Yeah, Stephen Ignoramius says it all the time. I think he's got like 6.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I didn't.
Yeah.
I haven't really branched out from doing it on YouTube, so yeah, we'll look into that. Because if we
Yeah.
can stream it multiple places, I mean, I like the thing I liked about D Live is it's built, it's on blockchain technology, which, you know, that's security right there. That's and you can get paid in Bitcoin. you can, and I want to say that it's not like YouTube where you have to reach a certain amount of following, especially in the
Before,
early
yeah.
days. We might want to jump on it as early as possible. Maybe I'll look into that this week because what a great way to start
Then with a
on
12-hour
DLive
live
if it's a
stream.
12-hour stream for charity, right? If we were
Yeah.
broadcasting on both channels, that could be something fun for us. Uh,
Yeah. That could be
but
cool.
because the blockchain technology is starting to they're starting to find some very interesting uses for it.
Hmm.
I told you about the DNA thing, right? That they're doing with that. Like now, you can store your
Um,
DNA results on the blockchain. There's companies that are doing this, and then no one can access your DNA results. Like Ancestry can't sell it off.
right.
But if someone wants, if your profile matches what they want for research, they can pay you
Hmm.
for a copy of your DNA information.
Yeah, which is a cool idea.
Because
I like
as it
that.
stands, a lot of companies have just been selling it. You've been signing
Yeah.
that right over to
You
them.
signed that. Yeah, which is why a big reason why I haven't done it yet. Because I would love to do that, but I don't want to have someone sell my DNA.
Yeah, and that's what you just got to look and see if you're giving them the right to do that or not. Um,
Yeah.
but that's why I say look for one of the companies that are handling it through the blockchain. They'll like 23andMe, I believe, is tied in with a blockchain provider, DNA company. I actually have a bunch of Bitcoin for the company sitting somewhere, not doing anything for me, but because the Bitcoin market kind of fell out a little bit.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that's a smarter way to go. Fuck, you know how much money you can make off that if you have the right makeup. I'm just saying. But the
Yeah.
blockchain, I'm interested in how it, the they're doing their own Bitcoin as well, right? DLive is. Um, so that's part of what you'll earn, which of course can be translated into regular Bitcoin currency, real world dollars, that kind of thing. But from a security standpoint, I like it.
Yeah.
Although I don't know, do we run into security issues with YouTube? You know,
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think so.
I mean,
Security issues.
what?
I mean, the biggest thing would be is if we got banned. I think that's the most that they can do to us. I don't think there's any.
Well, I mean, we do have personal information on YouTube, right? For
I
the
don't.
you,
YouTube doesn't know my real name.
oh, I put all your information down. Had
Of
to.
course you did.
They told me. They said in the event that you want to dox your co-host.
Right. Make sure you put down his real name and address.
Um, but so I don't know. I'm curious as to the move by PewDiePie, why he opted for it. I'm guessing they probably threw him a big chunk of
Well, I
change
mean,
in the
he also
contract.
knows that YouTube and a lot of other people are against him being on YouTube. So he's probably just making a plan
What do you mean
should he to.
YouTube is against him being on there in the first place?
Well, they're just against the controversy. They don't want to have to deal with that because that scares advertisers away, and that's the big thing.
But it,
That's the impetus behind all this censorship and demonetization and all that. It's because advertisers pull out of YouTube because of this stuff.
well, one thing I don't think I've ever seen is YouTube at a shortage for advertisements. Um,
Yeah.
but is it like they pull out of YouTube specifically, or they don't want to be associated with that particular stream? That particular
It
provider.
depends on the advertiser. Some will pull out entirely, and other ones will say we don't want to be in front of this type of video. So then the YouTube will try and discourage that.
Because
It's a pretty. We don't have time, I think, to go in depth into it. I wouldn't be the one to ask either
because
about the
I
intricacies of it.
there's so much controversial shit on YouTube. I mean, that's really a Pandora's box you could never really shut.
Yeah.
But it's one person, losing that. I don't know. You're not going to stop the bullshit that's out there, and they've already shown that the CEO really doesn't give a shit. Right?
Yeah.
Like when it comes to, when we were talking about like the conspiracy theorists that get on there and the anti-vaxxers or the Parkland conspiracies and these kind of things, they don't give a shit. Even when their censors want to flag these things,
Yeah.
they're like, just let it go. Don't worry about it. I mean, that doesn't seem like an attitude of worrying about one way or the other. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't sound like from what you say with YouTube, basically there's a hole in the boat. It's not like it's making money for Google. So
Right.
if it's a losing enterprise, does it matter what advertisers pull out? I mean, if you're not getting enough advertising dollars to
Well, that's the thing
support,
is they're trying to attract more, which is why they're trying to like I guess blue rinse it, just clean it, like get YouTube clean completely.
well, don't they pay out money once a video, like if a video in a specific video reaches a certain number of views, or if you as a
It's
provider
yeah,
reach a
it's
certain
how
number?
many ads are played in front of that video. You get a couple cents.
Well, I thought they're like early on in the days of YouTube, like if you reached 100,000
Hmm.
views or likes on something, whatever, like that was a threshold where they would send you like a check. They would be like,
Early on, yeah.
yeah. So they don't do that kind of shit anymore.
Hell no.
Going viral on YouTube's not a big thing anymore.
No, no, they don't give a fuck if you go viral.
Now it's just
They
all
don't care.
about if you get enough subscribers to monetize the site.
And then yeah, and then if they like you or not, if they think your content is suitable for advertisers.
So do you think maybe they're just paying out too much money from advertisements
Well, I mean,
to providers?
obviously the platform got much larger than it was in its early days, so they can't really afford to pay everyone who gets 100,000
Well,
views.
no, but I'm talking about like people that monetize through advertisements, which a lot of people probably do.
Hmm.
I mean that's shares that have to go out. So I mean,
Well, yeah, but I
are
mean,
they paying out too much?
you're talking about pennies per view per ad, and
Right. But
so, but
how many different channels is that same ad shown on? You
oh
know,
yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot, but I mean, the advertisers are paying YouTube to put their ads in front of videos. So YouTube's getting most of that money, and they're giving you pennies per view.
yeah, I could still see though that maybe they're paying out more than they want to be. Um, I would be curious to see how that payout structure has decreased over the years.
Oh yeah,
The bigger YouTube has gotten,
yep.
but
Might be a good question for a large YouTuber,
yeah, we should get one.
someone who's been around for a while.
Do we know anybody like that?
I think we did once, not anymore.
Yeah, yeah, we used to be
Maybe I'll
some.
ask him on Sunday when I talk to him.
We used to be
Maybe I'll
some.
ask Matt Christensen.
We
Name
should,
drop, good. Go ahead and name drop.
that was just lame.
Yeah,
I
maybe
mean,
I'll ask him Sunday
I
if
love
I
the
have
way you
time.
say that, like he's just going to be over at your house for a fucking cookout.
Well, I mean, I am talking to him, so God.
Why don't you frame it properly? When I'm pandering for talk time on his show on Sunday, maybe I'll ask him.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not
Don't
going to be
even
on his show.
no
If I was on
pandering.
his show,
You're in a
I'd be
chat.
hyping that up. I'd be like, "Fuck
Sunday's
yeah!"
his call in or his live chat.
Well, no, yeah, yeah, it's his main show, but I've also got before that, he does like a Google Hangout with special people like me and
Right.
several others, including our previous guest Dan.
I can't believe you'd
He's
never
usually there as
invited me.
well. Well, you're not invited.
Why?
I would invite you if you were invited.
Why haven't you invited me?
Because you don't support him monetarily like I do.
How do you know?
Because then you would be invited
I
if you did.
I kind of do.
No.
We could consider the money you donate to him, that you throw to him,
No.
as being halfway thrown in the name of the generational gap, which I am a part of. Six
I
degrees from
guess.
Kevin Bacon.
Technically.
I donate to Matt Christensen.
Alright. We about done here.
And look at you. You're desperate for a cigarette, aren't you? Look
No,
at
I'm
it.
just there's nothing else to talk about. It's kind of gone, now we're talking about whether or not you should piggyback on me to
right.
get to Matt Christensen. It's just fucked up, man.
No, it's not. Piggyback on you. We're in this
Yeah.
together, John. What happened to our blood pact?
Whoa. We don't talk about
Didn't we share tampons?
We did. And now we both have AIDS.
No. That's not how
Yeah.
you get AIDS.
Well, yeah, of course it is.
No. Come on, John. Tampons are too expensive to transmit AIDS.
Way too expensive.
Don't you know? That's the expensive way to transmit them. All right. Hey, we're going to wrap this up, folks. John, remind these folks one more time what's going on next week.
Yes, on the 19th, that is next Friday, 1 week from today, we'll be doing our St. Jude's Children's Hospital charity live stream. We're donating money, as much as we can get, to St. Jude's. We're doing a 12-hour stream from noon to midnight. And, we're going to have the gun control debate. What did we decide, 7 p.m.? I think that's when we're going to start it.
Something like that. Are we thinking our time or his time?
Our time, of course.
Okay. So, yeah.
The correct time zone.
I believe it was like 7 to 9 is what we were talking about. Something around
there. Yeah, exactly.
8 to 10, somewhere.
We've got some guests lined up and some activities. It's going to be a fun time. It will be. At least some of it will be. I can't guarantee that all 12 hours will be, the best time of your life, but some of it will be.
I can almost guarantee they won't.
Yeah. And then you can also find us on Twitter at the Gen Gap P and on Discord. Both links right down there, right below, right in the description.
In the bottom.
Just scroll a little bit, go like that. And then right there at the bottom, you click the little thing, it'll open up the tab. Boom, description, click links, it'll be fun. We'll see you there.
All right, folks, we're going to get out of here. Hopefully you've enjoyed everything that you've been listening to tonight. Probably haven't, but hopefully you hit the likes. John said we got 3. We got 3.
We got like 4 or 5 now.
4 or 5. That's all that matters.
4. We got 4 likes now.
Numbers
pretty
don't lie.
awesome.
Numbers don't lie.
They don't.
So I can live with that. But make sure and let people know what's going on next Friday. Listen, if nothing else, we need to raise money for St. Jude's. That's the way to go. That's what we're about. That's what we really want to have happen on Friday, is just get that number up. And we want to hit that $1,000 mark so that we can see John's
That's right. Naked face.
I can't even think of a nice thing to say about what could be under that beard. So,
it's not good.
But think of it as Schadenfreude. It's the train wreck you can't look away from.
Yeah, the audience will suffer way more than I will.
Oh, God.
Promise.
I have to look at you the whole time we're sitting here talking. 12
That's
hours.
That's right.
Oh.
12 hours.
Are you're gonna shave it off as soon as we hit the 1,000, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'll have to get stuff ready, but yeah.
Well, you should have.
I'll have to go and get the. Well, I mean, I guess I could probably do that.
Happen,
yeah.
John. It's gonna happen.
We'll see.
It's gonna happen.
I don't know. I have no faith in our audience. I don't think they can do it.
Challenge accepted. All right, folks. So stay tuned. We'll be back here on Monday night, roughly around 9 p.m. to shoot the shit with you for a little bit. And then after that, we'll plan on seeing you at 8:30, 12 p.m. next Friday.
Noon.
And for a long-ass show, putting up with John. So till then, tell everyone you know, come along and give us a watch, and don't buy into the bullshit. It's out there. Trust no one, John. Trust.
Not even us. Don't even trust us.
Fuck, I can't even trust myself. Damn
nope.
it. All right, we're out of here. John, have yourself a good night, folks. Thanks for listening in.
Yep. See you guys.
Peace.